So we're going to talk about the curbstoning crisis that's happening way too often with those that are purchasing a vehicle and become victims of a lot of criminal activities because they don't know what they don't know. And I'm hoping that with the information we cover tonight, that you guys can be change agents with being able to share information that's factually based to help the consumer know how to actually protect themselves, as we're doing the best we can to help protect them with giving them facts. So let's stop fraud at the source. Curbstoning and the blank title trap. Again, this is something that when you hear blank title, there's other things that is usually associated with that. So we want to protect your commission from title fraud when you're talking about vehicle titles. So it's not all about real estate when it comes to titles for property, but this is one of the quicker issues when it comes to fast money and flipping vehicles. And this is, again, what is happening a lot on Facebook Marketplace. So what is curbstoning? The definition is an unlicensed person or dealer buying and selling multiple cars, often from salvage yards or auctions, while pretending to be a private owner. The why. They do this to avoid dealer licensing laws, liability, and consumer protection regulations like lemon laws. There's risk. Buyers often end up with vehicles hidden by serious mechanical, structural, or water damage. And I've seen way too many of that personally, not notaries, but consumers are calling me because they're trying to find ways of getting help when they find that they are victims of this type of crime. What is a blank or open title? It is a title signed by the seller that does not contain the name of the buyer. So anytime that you guys have been on any of the trainings and other conversations, I speak on this highly about paying attention when it comes to Section A at the very top is in red, the buyer's name. That is something that's giving you an alert. It's important. So anything that's usually red on a document, you really do want to pay attention to those things. The context, also known as the title jumping or title floating. And the goal is the seller is avoiding registering the car, paying sales tax, or having their name associated with a lemon. So again, this is just, intentional crime that they're trying to sell something, get a lot of money from it, and knowing it's not going to be worth it or working properly for the person who has invested their hard-earned money, usually wanting to just get a vehicle so they can actually go to and from without feeling like they're going to be ripped off if they can actually pay cash without having to finance it. And the reality is it's illegal here in North Carolina, and the buyer will face significant trouble at the DMV. And again, many of you may have already talked to someone that's trying to get a notary to help them. Well, we're limited to what we can do after the fact. So they do have to look for legal recourse. That is not something that we can personally do unless you are an attorney. So how they work together when you're dealing with curbstoning and the blank title. These curbstoners jump the title using an open title to ensure their name never appears on the paperwork. The result is they become untraceable. If the car dies 2 miles down the road, the buyer has no legal recourse against the actual person who sold it to them. So again, as you can see and imagine, if you was to try to actually purchase something for a vehicle for like your child, their first car, and you're really excited about gifting this for their graduation gift, birthday, or whatever it might be, and then to find out it is not worth what you put into it, and now your child is disappointed and you may be stuck with this. So red flags for the North Carolina notary. Pay attention to an ID mismatch. So the name on the NVR 191, which is the certificate of title, also known as the car title, does not match the seller's driver's license. So again, you have these car dealers that actually have purchased a vehicle from the actual owner. Many times, a person may have had a car accident and the car is totaled. Instead of them just actually dismissing the vehicle, someone may be willing to purchase it from them. Well, they know that as a salvage title for that vehicle, they cannot get insurance. And if they was to get insurance, it's going to be astronomical when it comes to how much they're going to be paying for that type of liability coverage, limited liability coverage on this type of title or type of vehicle. So you have, again, a way that they can get some money from it, and they will sell it for, usually someone says, well, I can purchase it and I can sell the parts from it. And so they take the money, and again, they're at peace with the fact they can't drive it or drive it without having to worry about an issue. So this is how a lot of things do start out. The seller mentions they have a few more cars for sale, but claims to be a private owner. And then the bill of sale refusal. The seller refuses to sign a bill of sale or wants to leave the buyer's field empty. Once again, these are all red flags that we can definitely pay attention to if someone is trying to actually, again, have us notarize their title with them saying that they're wanting to sell something, but their ID is not matching, again, the name that is actually on the title itself. So what does the law say? If you go to North Carolina General Statutes, Chapter 10B20 and 10B60, all this information is covered when it comes to you shall not notarize an incomplete document. All right, so that's any paperwork. If it does not have a lot of information filled in, do not move forward with notarizing it. The penalty, notarizing an open title is official misconduct. And again, you can reference General Statutes 10B60. This information, again, is accessible online, and you should be able to find a lot of information in our manual. So when 2026, okay, when we finally get the book, it will be updated in there. And for those that have taken the classes this year, have been introduced to a lot of new information. So again, a lot of you that have not or have taken the class prior to this year, you're not familiar with some of the things that's now being taught in the class that is helping a lot more notaries. And again, this is to make sure that there's less and less of this type of fraud once we actually take the time to pay attention and make sure we're refusing to notarize. Always listen to your gut. When you feel that something is wrong, it usually is. So this is the scenario. I'll fill it in later. So the seller asks, or say, I don't have the buyer's name yet, but I need my signature notarized now. Many times you feel pressured that they're trying to get something done immediately, as if you have to do something for them. Well, the beauty of what we do, we don't have to. We're not obligated. And so your response is no. Per North Carolina General Statutes 10B60, the document must be complete, including buyer's information, before you sign and seal it. Okay, so again, you want to protect yourself at all costs. So, have you registered for our 2-day Notary Basics Accelerated Workshop? We cover this particular document, and that's the very first one we cover in our class. So, if you're wanting to participate and come to Greensboro, as far as us doing it in person, it's going to be April the 17th and 18th, July 24th and 25th, and October 23rd and 24th of this year. We have a training every single month for our Notary Basics Accelerated. We go over 16 plus documents, because the goal is for you to not read the information in our manual, but to know exactly how to execute it in real time with documents that match the documents that oftentimes are going to be presented to you that someone needs to have notarized. So we also take it online, so that for those that are far away in the state that cannot travel without any, I should say, any type of challenge for having to stay overnight and things of that nature, they can do online classes instead. So we have May 22nd and 23rd coming up, August 21st and 22nd, as well as November 20th to the 21st. And then we are going traveling this year. We're going to be in Fayetteville at the end of this month because I want to make sure that we can try to reach a lot of notaries that may not, again, be close to Charlotte. So I am willing to travel to notaries as long as, again, it makes sense. So the goal is to get 10 notaries that want to actually, again, elevate their learning when they are able to actually make it work with their budget. And again, we do have Afterpay as an option if you want to be invoiced. The payments are split into over 6 months. So you have that option if you are eligible. But we'll be there March 27th and 28th. And then we have the one in Morehead City, where I'll be visiting there in June 26th and 27th. So again, if I'm going to be in a city near you, you may want to go ahead and try to actually work it in your budget to actually be present and take advantage of all of the great value you will gain from these classes. And then we'll be in Asheville on September 25th and 26th. And at the end of the year, you're going to be in my city, the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina. So December the 18th, 19th, I thought this was really a good way to kind of keep everything together and prevalent to just being here with me in my city. And so again, you don't want to actually wait till late because I only have a certain amount of students that I'll teach at one time, just so we can have that setting to get a lot of questions answered, as well as covering as much information during the time that we have together. So all of this is a great opportunity for you if you want to take advantage of it. And again, the goal is for you to always be learning and elevating exactly what it is that you should be able to share as a notary to help your customers. When it comes to just the things that I covered, the why behind the rule, we want to make sure that when it comes to the NVR 191 form is an incomplete document, is a tool for fraud. When a curbstoner asks you to leave the buyer's name off, they are asking you to help them jump the title. They want to disappear from the transaction so that when the car, which might have flood damage, and many times they do, or a salvage history breaks down, the buyer is stuck with a lemon and no one to sue. And I know growing up, I constantly heard someone say, oh my goodness, I purchased a lemon. I really did not know what that meant. And then as I got older, I realized, oh, that this means that they have a car that is not workable. And they have a lot of problems where they're going to have to invest more money to get it fixed than what it was worth. So again, did not understand a lot of that then, but now my goal is to advocate so consumers can, again, protect themselves with some great information that we can bring to them. And if all notaries spoke the same language when it comes to posting efforts, educating the general public, a lot of people will be a lot more aware and less of this will be happening. So that is my challenge to you. Take it to your social media, take it to your Google Business Profile page, take it to your website, especially to Nextdoor and Facebook Marketplace. So we can say buyer beware. Or these are the things, if you're buying a vehicle, please check these things off. Because again, the more we can help protect the public, the more they're going to appreciate us. And guess what? We can become their preferred notary because we've been looking out and we're able to factually share information that can be beneficial to help them not be a victim to this crime. And so you want to make sure, again, you identify the red flags. I decided to actually cover this because I had got a call last week and the lady was like, I just purchased my first car. Well, technically speaking, my husband went and he signed the paperwork and paid for it. So when she decided to call me, she did a Google search and she found me. She was like, I think something's wrong. I'm like, there's so much questions I have when it comes to what I'm seeing right now. So first thing was, she saw that the bill of sale, the information and the name did not match the person's name on the title. Her husband said, well, it was a guy that he met that they found this vehicle on Facebook Marketplace, and they paid $4,000 for it. Well, the bill of sale said $500. And she felt that had she been present, she would have caught a lot of things that, again, now after the fact, she was seeing, and she was just in such a panic because she's like, oh my goodness, we just spent all this money and we have nothing to verify it with. So the husband, again, he's not like the administrator of the family. So everyone had their gifts. And so she was just trying to, again, be calm and go over everything with me. But I could sense how upset she was. Her mother also brought some things to her attention. And on the title was a woman's name that did sign the title, but on the title it clearly said it was a salvage title. That is another thing they was not aware of. He's not understanding how to read the document, because I'm pretty sure whoever the gentleman was, or I can only imagine how it went, him giving him this here nice sales pitch of how a great car he has, and really talking more than allowing him to read. And so with all of those red flags, they have got a vehicle that the gentleman jumped the title because his name is nowhere affiliated with the paperwork when it comes to the bill of sale, nor the title. And a lot of people, again, are victims of this because they don't know what they don't know. But again, if we can band together and help educate the masses of our community, this would definitely help avoid a lot of people from falling victim to this. Again, we can only do but so much, but again, little together can make a big impact. So the floor is open for any questions, any comments that you may have on the subject matter, or any question that may not be to this point, but the goal is for you to hopefully get some value from what was just disclosed, so that you can actually know how to now be more intentional and strategic with sharing your information with the public that will benefit from this information from you. Any questions?
I actually forgot to call you a few weeks ago. One of my coworkers, we don't have a notary anymore. Well, we have me, but so she asked me if I would do a document for her. I said, sure, no problem. I was off, but I had some other things to do, so I said I'll stop by there and do it. So her father had passed away like a month or so ago, and her mom was going to donate a car to a charity or somewhere. So I get inside, I'm looking over I'm getting all my things ready, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look at the document, and she signs it before I even looked at it. And so I look at it, and I said, I can't notarize this. She said, what's wrong? I said, it's blank. Like there's no name, there's no odometer reading, like there's zero information on here. And I said, I cannot notarize a blank document. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I was like, it's fine. Just call me when you're ready. You know, when your mom has all the correct information filled out. I said, and she will have to be here with you to, you know, for me to notarize the document. So that was my second refusal.
Second, okay.
The first one, one of my friends, she and her husband divorced a long time ago, and she was signing a car over, but the names didn't match. So I told her the names had to. I think she signed her maiden name, not her married name, or vice versa.
Okay.
But it didn't match what was on the title.
Right. Okay.
So I told her, you got to fix that. So.
Yep. And that is something that I come across in different documents where either you have a maiden name on the ID and then a different name on the paperwork because they had not updated their identification. And again, that is not our responsibility. So the only thing we can tell them is you're going to need to take it up with DMV to get this corrected, or have someone who actually worked on this paperwork have your name match on the paperwork, because that's the only way we can move forward with notarizing it. As long as we can tell them what we can do versus what we cannot do, it can kind of help them know that we're not trying to avoid helping them at all, but we do have laws that we have to abide by in this position. So good for you. Any other questions? The raise hand feature is at the top if you want to actually share information or if you have a question. Yes, Patrice.
Hey, Miss Belinda, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Awesome. So stop talking. I sent you a picture. A man called me to do a car title. Well, do a title. He does trailers, like when you have those coffee, like little trailers, not the ones that's a food truck, but the little trailers you pull behind a truck. Will you please?
I know what you're talking about.
So he builds those. So when I went to him the first time, I had not done one before with the LLC. So it was something. So I called DMV and I found out how to do it. You know, you put the LLC and then you put by and then the owner's name, who the LLC person is. So I was on point. I called him. I said, you know, so I'm ready. You know, I called DMV and I know how to, you know, adequately notarize it. So I get there. If you look at your telephone, he has this title. I'm like, what the fudge? That is not what he had the last time. So Miss Belinda, when I tell you I was sitting there and the man that was purchasing the trailer is like, well, what did I put here? I'm like, well, sir, whatever information you want to put. So I'm just trying to just go all the way around the question because I did not know. I mean, I knew how the first part I did know, and I know you all don't see it. Maybe Miss Belinda can share it in the group. But he allowed me to take a picture of the title. I said, well, can I take a picture of this title just so I can whatever? And he said yes. So the first part I could do, but I was lost if I needed to do anything at the bottom. Like, did I just?
It's a copy of something, not the actual document.
Well, that's what he gave me, Miss Belinda. It was it looked just like a title. I mean,
no, it's definitely nothing close to a title. I have not even identified. It doesn't even have a actual form number. So for you to know that is a legit document dealing with the Department of Motor Vehicles, it should have a form number at the top or at the bottom somewhere in the margin. All documents when it comes to government, federal, or at the state level have numbers that identifies the category, and I don't see that on this document. So yeah, that's something that you got to be very mindful of, especially when again things are just doesn't look right. So let me see if I can pull that up on.
So this isn't authentic, Miss Belinda, because he had several. Because like I said, he builds the trailer, so he had several. He said, "Well, I have people coming." I said, "Well, when they are present, then I'll be able to notarize." I said, "I can't notarize without them being present." He was in agreement with that, but he had several.
I mean, so just think about like this:
yes,
if
ma'am.
he knows he does this on a regular basis, who's to say he does not make copies so that it's convenient for him to do his quote unquote work in exchange for this document and the money? I don't know, but this is what I'm saying. This doesn't look like an actual DMV document.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna try to actually see if I can bring it up on my computer to see it a lot bigger.
Yes, ma'am. So I need to go by DMV tomorrow, I guess, and inquire about this thing.
If he made the trailer, he's basically creating the initial title for it.
Yeah. So what this is like the back or front of something, but it's not the complete document. I've never seen this before.
Okay. Well, I know it didn't look the way it looked the first time. Yeah. So okay.
And is he a resident of North Carolina?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I would encourage you to actually take it to DMV to get more factual information on what this document could be a part of, because again, there's no type of ID number, form number for it to be identifiable for me to even tell you what this is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who wants to see this? All right, let me share my screen. And again, it's not as dark. So let me see. Here we go. All right, I see Tanya raise your hand, and then Sunita next. But this is the document. And again, I cannot make out, because you can tell it's a copy. The margins, this is the document part, but this is a copy because it's on the copy paper. And there's nothing here to show what form this is. And anything that is a motor vehicle record is going to have its own identifying number for its form. So again, I am clueless to what this is.
Is it perforated on the sides? Can you tell? That's what it looks like the side and the bottom. Looks like those
Or
are.
did he take a
So
picture
this
like
is
when it's
perforation.
Yeah.
It looks like grease.
So my question is there a flip side to this thing? Because
Yeah.
It
Yes,
does
ma'am. It was, but it was. I didn't take a picture of that side, Miss Belinda, but I can reach back out to him and
Okay,
inquire
so-
about this. I just figured it was official, but I'm gonna reach back out to him tomorrow and ask him about more questions about it, and then go to DMV.
Okay, so when you find out, let me know, because I
Yes,
know I
ma'am.
have, like in my library, a whole list of different NVR forms,
Yes, ma'am.
but I don't recall seeing that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing. And Sunita.
I'm sorry. So this is a question in reference to Patrice, what she was just talking about with that document. Of course, we see that it looks like it's a copy. So I think, Patrice, did you say you tried to call DMV or no?
I had called DMV the first time he had, and I apologize, my grandbaby, the first one he had, because I didn't know how to do with the LLC, because they guided me. So I knew what to do if he had the original title like he had the first time. So I hadn't inquired about this title. So I haven't spoken to them about this one yet.
Okay. So now in this case, Miss Belinda, what would she say if she spoke to someone at DMV over the phone, or rather, is it best to go in person? Because what would she say in reference to this form? Because there's no document number or anything.
Well, so from what I understand now, there is a flip side, and we don't know what that part looks like. And
Okay.
when I zoom in, and Tina was able to catch that part, it is perforated, where it looks like it can bend and tear from the bottom to the left side of it. But again, I have not seen any of this particular document presented to me ever. So I don't know exactly what it is. But yes, this is another teachable moment. I'm looking forward to knowing a little bit more about this.
So, okay. And then lastly, even if there was a document number, let's just say, for example, it was a document number in the bottom right corner, bottom right or left, whichever. Now, would she still be able to notarize? Because it's clear that it's a copy.
So this is what I can say. If there is a notarial certificate block and the information is filled in based on there's no blanks in that area of where it's going to be notarized, we can technically notarize the document after we properly identify the person who is signing it. So that's the rule of thumb. So again, since this is something that I've never seen before, it's all about observing what we do know needs to be in place. And as long as you can actually follow those rules, then we're doing our due diligence at that point if we're going to move forward with notarizing the document. But it does have to have those box checked when it comes to making sure there are no blanks that can actually altered after it's notarized, and that it does have the notarial wording for us to actually properly notarize the document.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Tanya, did you actually you're on mute? Okay.
Well, I thought I was going to ask Miss Patrice, that was not the document he showed you in the beginning. That was different.
Yes, ma'am. When I went the first time, it was your typical car. It was your typical car title. Excuse me, typical title It had his name in the front. Stop. It had his name in the front, and then on the back, that's when the man who was the LLC, he signed. So, like I said, I was ready for that. I had already done my due diligence. I was ready for that right there. But when he gave me this, and then at the bottom where it had lien, I didn't even know if I had to put the person that built the trailer, if he went down there. So I just stuck with the top portion. I just stuck with the top portion.
Okay.
It looked like a because I've done one for like a car dealership. Right? Did it look like, because the back kind of looks like that. The front does not look like a car title. You know how you have on the front is the seller name and all that. It's different when you're dealing with a dealership.
So you have seen one like this?
He sells whatever he makes.
The trailer.
What it is. Right. It could be a different type of document.
Specifically for that trade,
Right.
Which makes sense.
Right.
All right, Patrice, you got me. We both got some homework to do. Because I would love to actually learn more about this, and I will. So thank you. Any other questions or comments? Yes, Miss Vicky.
This must be the week for car titles. Someone asked me to pick up a car title and notarize it for her. Okay, showed up over there. She had the title signed by the seller, and the rest of it was blank. She said, "Well, he showed me his ID." Says, "Sorry, I can't notarize this." So she called him. He lives in Raleigh. I live in Durham, and we were going to try to meet up somehow. And I never have heard back later, but I'm going to bet she found a notary who would notarize it for her. Is what my best guess is.
Unfortunately, that's happening way too often. Notaries that are not well knowledgeable when they should be, because there's no excuses for them to not know the basics of notarizing a document. So and again, if there's an issue, that same notary probably will be investigated. I mean, this is very serious. When we actually apply our stamp onto anything, it's traceable back to us. Even if we can't find the people who, quote unquote, supposed to be the signer, we have, again, a obligation to do the right thing and be well knowledgeable. And if you don't feel certain, don't do it.
That's what I think is going to happen with that, the donated car, because she signed it. I mean, the whole thing was blank, but she signed it, and I bet you, because her mom lives like up in the Raleigh area, but the daughter works in Greensboro, lives in Greensboro, and I bet you they found somebody that's just going to do it for them.
Yeah.
But I said, I'm sorry, but legally, I cannot notarize a document that is blank.
And what I'm finding is you have new notaries, and they're so excited about getting their first assignment that they're nervous already, and they're not attentive to what they need to be paying attention to. And see, this is why, again, when it comes to the training that I offer for the Notary Basics Accelerated Workshop, it helps introduce these types of documents so that notaries can now be able to ask the questions, learn information, have something to study. So when they are presented these different documents, they have a little bit more confidence in how to handle any signer when it comes to how they can say a yes or a no to move forward with the process. And again, we're going to have a lot of that happening all the time, because this is just the world we're in. And unless you have someone reporting the wrongdoings and making a formal complaint, it's going to be a lot of those, "Oh, well, I've had another notary to do it before." You're going to hear that a lot when someone wants you to do something illegally or unethically, and then they're going to tell you, "Oh, I had it before." Well, you might need to go back to them because I'm not doing it. So,
well, I'm new to this, but all I can hear was my coach saying, "You better not sign that." That's blank. Don't do it. So I passed it on.
Okay, wonderful. So again, guys, kudos to you that actually are taking the time and remembering, and just making some sense of what you're seeing. Again, this book is the true thing that you want to actually pay attention to. In April, we should be seeing a different cover, thankfully, and it's going to be again all of the information here that's updated, along with the electronic notary book, or I should say, it's going to be a section for it, as well as a section for remote electronic notarization, incorporated into one book. That's going to be $35, available for purchase April the 1st is what they have announced. The cover and everything is on the UNC Chapel Hill website. I keep forgetting the name of the particular government body for that. Ms. Vicky, what is the name of it?
I'm looking, I think Institute of Government. I'm looking for it right now.
Yes. So the Institute of Government is the trusted site for us to purchase our actual book, and they're going to incorporate a electronic version that is that comes with it, so we're not having to pay an additional fee. So that's the perk of being able to have access to the new manual, where we can have the physical and the digital all in one. So that, to me, I can appreciate them realizing the digital can actually help us in various ways. So take the time to read the new manual when it does come, and to let you know it's a requirement. So it's not an option. When it comes, you are supposed to replace it with the one that you currently have. And that's, again, by law. So just to let you guys know, that is going to be something you want to put money aside for the purchase of your new manual. April the 1st, which is next month.
April 27th.
Oh, that's the new date?
Yeah, I put in the chat just now. I'm on the website.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, so the link is in the chat, and also, guys, to let you know, the feature you can download what we have here. You see the little arrow that says beside the word chat. When you click on it, there's a drop-down menu, and you will see where it says copy to clipboard or save chat to file. Click save chat to file before we close out, and that way everything that's in the chat you will have access to. Okay. For those that are not here and they're seeing the replay, they don't have access to this. So again, those that come to actually be a part of the live opportunity to talk and conversate, you guys have, again, access to a lot of things that those that are watching the replays will not. So anyone here has taken the Notary Basics class this year, want to share exactly what you have been able to benefit from those 2 days?
Here, I think like after our class, like the next week, I got asked to do a passport form for a minor, and the exact thing that I needed was in that book, and I was so grateful and so thankful. So I've had to refer to it a few times. So it's really helpful to have the documents in real time and to have gone through those. It makes it so much better. I'm a hands-on person. You can talk to me till you're blue in the face. I'm just not gonna get it. But if you show me and let me do it, then I retain it better. So that's really been helpful for me.
And this is what it looks like. It's hard for me to get my blur off, but it's yeah, I can't take my thing off right now so you can actually see it. All right, let me do one thing. I'm gonna go out and take it off, and I'll come back in.
Hey, Patrice, Patrice, when you go to DMV, ask them what a person does if they actually are building a vehicle, like that guy was building the trailer. So I'll just be curious what they do if you're building something from scratch. Because where does the title come for the first time?
Okay, I'll ask them. That's a good question.
Miss Belinda, I have my book if you can't get your glare off.
Okay, you can hear me now. So thank you, Deonica, for sharing that. So she refers to it as her Bible, and that is something that, again, you guys can take advantage of just because it is something that comes with the class. I have all the other materials. Show them the inside or just in the side part of it. So again, that has from sharing about how to actually properly we'll go through the steps in class, the NVR 191 form, a bill of sale, estate planning documents, the main four with witnesses. We all get to act out and work together to do the hands-on training. So all those things can be very helpful when it comes to how things are supposed to be, when it comes to the real actions of who needs to be in place when you're working with certain documents. And then I help you understand how to properly notarize a document when a signer is signing by mark, if they have a designee on their behalf, to the end where we go over some court documents and some real estate documents. And this helps introduce you during this class a little bit about being a signing agent, if that's the space you want to move into, where I have a specialized course just for becoming a signing agent. So I have pretty much lived my life for the last 6 years, really developing a program that's really solid for helping notaries to improve and really accelerate their understanding and excel in just being a notary. The goal is to be proficient and reliable because people are relying on us when it comes to a lot of things that is about their livelihood. So the goal is to get as much information and be serious about the business at hand because we're literally either helping or hurting someone's life. So it's that serious. And again, you take it little by little. I meet you where you are. Again, it's a group setting in the class, but you have opportunities to talk to me one-on-one. So the goal is for me to be able to, again, help you and guide you where you are so you can be a notary working in excellence. That is always the goal. Any other questions? So who will I be seeing in Fayetteville and at the end of the month? And if not Fayetteville, who I'll be seeing in Greensboro in April? I see Deonica. Wonderful. And can somebody download the chat for me? Because when I went out to come back in, it disappeared. Actually, it should be in my back office, so never mind. I should have access to it.
Okay, I had downloaded it already before we went out the first time.
All right. Okay, Natty and Rhonda. I'll look forward to meeting you guys. Yeah, it'll be here before you know it. And we also have our upcoming North Carolina Notary Association, our 24th conference, our annual 24th conference, and that's going to be May 14th through 16th in Raleigh. The great thing about these conferences is that we have trainings from Thursday through that Friday, and I think we're going to have some that Saturday morning or maybe after the conference end later that day. The agenda is they're working on completing the agenda when it comes to our planning committee. We do welcome volunteers. So that just means all hands on deck, because to plan an event like this takes a lot of work, a lot of preparation, communicating, and just really boots on the ground to actually make this a successful event. Secretary of State Elaine Marshall, as well as Ozzy Stallworth, they will be present. They're usually our guest speakers on that meet and greet for that Friday evening, leading to our day of the conference on Saturday. So you'll be able to get to meet some important people, and it gives you an opportunity to have photo ops where you actually can take photos with the Secretary of State Marshal. People can look at you on a high regard when you can actually show them how serious you are about being a notary, when you're actually taking photos with a representative of the state. This is a huge opportunity that you can do that with your own phone. So again, if nothing else, networking is critical, because this is the place for you to actually form collaborations, relationships with fellow notaries here. And again, you want to patronize and be supportive for what we're creating for you here in North Carolina. This was founded back in 1999. So the formation of the association is older than some of the notaries that I know. So again, it's a great opportunity for you to actually be in a place that welcomes you where you belong.
Knows I'm a notary, and they call me sometimes. So I went down there to do a notary, and when I was while I was standing there, someone else walked in, and the guy said, "We don't have a notary on site today." And I said, "I'm still here." So I managed to do 4 of them like it right in a row, just because I was standing at the UPS store and their notary wasn't on site that day.
See, right
The
time, right
notary
place,
is a
right
whole
time.
whopping UPS is a whole whopping 3 stoplights from my house, so it's not exactly far.
Well, that's how you can probably pick up a lot of your business, Miss Vicky. Now that they know, you definitely help them still be in a position where you was able to help their customers become your customers. So great job. Great. So it is now 7:30. Let me do my outro so that, again, if this is the replay that anyone is watching, you'll be able to again subscribe. And please again support my channel by subscribing. I am building on the 1,000 followers so that I can actually be in a better, in a more impactful way to actually reach a lot more people. So that is very important to actually help me in that way, so that again, more notaries are discovering what it is that we have available to them on our Tuesday Notaries Tune-up, as well as our Facebook, the Confident Notaries of North Carolina. Some people are not on Facebook, so they would rather find another way to participate. And again, this can be exposure to help them know that there is a way to do that. So again, if you're watching the replay, please subscribe, like, and share this with fellow notaries. I really do always thank you all for your support, because this is one of the things that is a way of giving of my time as well as my expertise as a mentoring opportunity, because a lot of people are still learning about what is available in resources to them outside of the Secretary of State resource page, but to have a community where we're always working together to learn, to actually discover and help others on a different level. That is always the goal. So again, thank you guys.